everybody, back again with another video. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Friday goes well, and I hope that you've had a good week so far. We're almost done with the week. The weekend is coming up, so if you've been working hard this week, you can enjoy the weekend tomorrow. The weekend's coming up, but really in this video, I wanted to talk about a few things. I want to talk about Oreo cookies and some of the ingredients that, based on my research, I found that are in Oreo cookies. And so we're going to discuss it. So Oreo cookies, they've been around for a while. They've been around for decades. I remember eating them as a kid. You got the cookie part on the top and bottom, and then the cream filling inside, and it was delicious. Some people eat the cream filling first because of how good it tastes. Some people just put the whole cookie in their mouth and eat it. Some people prefer to dip them in milk, dip them in chocolate milk. That was also one thing I did in particular. I used to always get a cup of milk and just I would dip I would dip it in the milk and then eat it. But I'm not gonna lie, I would eat 5, 6, 7 of those cookies at one time because they were just really good. But this was back when I was a kid and I didn't know anything about health and wellness. I wasn't worried about no health, no wellness, no none of that. I just ate it because it tasted good. I think that's what we all used to do until we came into the knowledge of health and wellness, and we realized how bad all of these foods are for us. And so I just think back to those times, and I'm like, what was I doing to my body? I was destroying my health because it tasted so good, and my brain wanted me to eat more and more because the cookies are designed to be addicting like that. And so I just, man. And then Oreo cookies, they're worldwide too. I've seen other versions of Oreo cookies in other countries and stuff, and Oreo cookies, wow. What are Oreo cookies made by? I think they're made by Nabisco, right? And I think they're owned by Mondelez International. They're like this big snack corporation. I might be wrong on that, but I know they're made by Nabisco, right? And so Oreo cookies. I've seen they got all types of flavor. I've seen peanut butter Oreo cookies. I've seen lemon cream flavored. I've seen golden Oreos. I've seen double stuffed Oreo. I've seen mega stuffed Oreo. I've seen Oreo cakesters. Those are like the soft cookies. Those are so good. I mean, they just got all types of flavors of these cookies now, and they all tasted so good. So the $1 million question is, if they tasted so good, then what's the problem with eating them, right? What is the problem with eating them? I'll tell you what the problem with eating them is. Everything. Let's start with the ingredient list, right? Oreo cookies. I kind of have it written down here. I kind of have to do a little research on what exactly is in Oreo cookies. Why are they so addicting? Why do they taste so good? And why are they so bad for us? Let's get into the details. So Oreo cookies. First ingredient that I saw listed on certain Oreos was unbleached enriched flour. Um, well, actually, these ingredients are not in any particular order because I've seen the ingredients kind of switched around, but they're all pretty much bad ingredients. We have unbleached enriched flour, sugar, palm slash canola oil, high fructose corn syrup, leavening, salt, soy lecithin, soy lecithin, or however you pronounce it, artificial flavor, um, and that's pretty much the main ingredients I've seen. Oh, and then chocolate. Um, so unbleached enriched flour. This is pretty much whole wheat flour that has been processed. So we have processed grains, which is not healthy for us. And processed grains, that's where they've pretty much taken out all the nutrients and the fiber. And the opposite of unbleached enriched flour will be whole wheat. But when you take out the good parts, the nutrients, minerals, the fiber, you're left with unbleached enriched flour. Um, you also have sugar. We know sugar is bad for us, but sugar has been known to be linked to spiked blood sugar, weight gain, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, chronic fatigue, cancer, cavities, acne, mood swings, Alzheimer's, and dementia. And there's a whole list of things that sugar is linked to. And this is processed sugar, might I add. Pretty much the white crystallized substance that you see. We're not talking about natural fruit sugars. We're talking about sugar that you find in pretty much every processed food. The added sugar. That's what I mean to say. Added sugar. Sugar. It's not good. You never want to eat any type of sugar outside of natural fruit sugars. So if you can avoid added sugar, you should. It might, well, yeah. Just try your best to avoid it. But that's all in Oreo cookies. Palm slash canola oil. Canola oil in particular is highly inflammatory. We have to keep in mind that oil is nothing but fat and empty calories. Oil is not a whole food. It's basically extracted via various methods, and it's extracted from the whole food, and it's pretty much concentrated fat, concentrated empty calories. You have to remember that oil is one of the most calorie dense foods out here, right? And so consider that before you eat something with oil in it. And canola oil in particular is pretty bad too, because if I'm not mistaken, I think most canola oil is GMO. I would have to look that up, but I think I read somewhere that most of it was GMO. Most canola oil is GMO. Palm oil is not good either. And that's in Oreo cookies. That's in Oreo cookies. High fructose corn syrup. That's just more sugar, and it's linked to all the other things I listed before. Weight gain, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, chronic fatigue, cancer, cavities, acne, mood swings, Alzheimer's, dementia, spiked blood sugar. All this high fructose corn syrup is linked to. Now, it's used in a lot of things because it's pretty cheap and it's extremely sweet. That's why high fructose corn syrup is used in so much stuff. You want to avoid that altogether. It's used in pretty much anything sweet. Um, Breakfast cereals, um, syrups, um, cookies, um, fruit punches. I mean, it's used in anything processed as sweet. So you want to avoid it. You want to avoid it. They use a leavening agent, which is something that causes food to expand, and baking soda and or calcium phosphate is what they use. Leavening agent, um, they use that, and I haven't heard it doesn't. I didn't read anything that said it was bad, but I'm sure it's not good either. Because it's a process that causes food to expand. Um, so I didn't see anything too bad on that. Salt is used. Salt is used in Oreo cookies. It causes high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, which is linked to heart attack and stroke. Most people are eating way too much sodium in a day. Ideally, you're supposed to be consuming 1,500 milligrams or less in a day. Most restaurant foods, and I need to do a video on this, most restaurant foods, you're getting nearly a day's worth of sodium or more in most of these restaurant foods. Even some of the places that you think are healthy, there's just way too much sodium. 1,000 milligrams or more of sodium in one dish. That's not good. That's not good. But it's used because it's addicting, and it's a preservative as well, and it's cheap. And so that's why salt is used, and salt is used in Oreo cookies. Now, I highly doubt they use a ton of salt because it's so sweet. They use mostly sugar and high fructose corn syrup to give it the flavor, but salt is in this. Soy lecithin. Um, that's not a good ingredient either, because when we're talking about soy in general, most soy is GMO, genetically modified. So if you don't have um, the non-GMO certified label on your food, you can pretty much assume that it is genetically modified. And so lecithin, let's talk about lecithin. It is an emulsifier, which means it allows for water and oil to mix together, because if you put oil and water in a cup, the oil is going to rise to the top. But if you add lecithin, it causes it to mix, which then they can use in their product, because it's not going to be separate from water. And so it is a fatty compound, and it is extracted from food, and they extract it in this case from soy. Soy lecithin is linked to birth defects. It's linked to cancer. It's also linked to a host of other issues, and you should avoid soy lecithin. So chocolate is used. Chocolate in its most natural form is not bad, but I question the source of the chocolate. I couldn't really find it online. I would have to look that up. Also, what they use is artificial flavor. Now, we know artificial flavors are not good, but why are they not good? You want to avoid artificial flavors because they're not natural. They're made in a lab. Anything made in a lab is bad. Artificial flavors are compounds that are made in a lab. They're not natural, hence the word artificial. And they're not natural. They're mostly put into processed junk foods and contain bad ingredients. And they also trick your body into thinking that you are getting the actual, flavoring because they're designed to mimic natural like flavor. Like let's say you have an apple. Well, yeah. Well, no. Let's say you have a strawberry. So you know how a strawberry tastes, right? So what they do in a laboratory, if they want to make strawberry flavored fruit snacks, what they do is they use a bunch of chemicals and all types of crazy stuff. They then create a artificial flavor that mimics the flavor of a strawberry. They put it into the strawberry fruit snacks along with a bunch of sugar and chemicals to make it all addicting, and then they put it out and sell it, and people buy it. So these are pretty much most of the ingredients I see. I know there's probably a few more, but I just want to kind of go through some of the ingredients. It's important to understand what you're eating, and so that's why I do videos like this. Um, um, Oreo cookies. You know what's sad about these cookies is when I see parents feeding this to their children. That's what does make me sad because you're causing your children to become addicted to these processed junk foods so early when they don't know any better. But then at the same time, I have to think about the fact that the parents are addicted, and they don't understand that they're addicted to these bad foods. They don't understand how bad these foods truly are for their children, and so they just feed these bad foods to their children, and it's just not. Every time I see that, it's just not a good situation. I really don't like to see that, and a lot of these foods are marketed to children. Like a lot of these super sugary breakfast cereals are marketed to children. A lot of these, fruit roll-ups and fruit snacks and all of these different types of foods are marketed towards, and these candies, they're marketed towards children, and it's sad that they would do something like that, create something that's so addicting, and then have people addicted to it, children addicted to it. That's what disturbs me the most, is the fact that they're addicting people that really don't know any better, but then at the same time, it is the parents. The parents have to understand, like, you can't give your children these bad foods, but a lot of times they're real cheap, and so unfortunate situation, but yeah, that's Oreo cookies. We we have to look to make better food choices out here. Um, Oreo cookies. I wouldn't eat them, but like I say, everybody has a choice. Some people might watch this video and eat them. Actually, a lot of people will. I know they're really good, but these foods are destroying us, destroying our bodies, making us overweight, obese, getting us sick, and it's just not good. I care about people's health. I care about your health, right? And so that's why I make these videos, just putting the information out there. All this information is online. Even the ingredient list is literally on, what's the website? Is it Oreos.com, or I don't know. Whatever the website it is, the Oreo Cookies official website. I'll say that. Oreo Cookies official website. It literally has the, the official ingredient list. So, if you want to look that up, it's on there. Then you can research any ingredient and find the same information that I found. And so I just thought I'd I put this information out there. I do thank you for watching this video. We're at the 20-minute mark. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I really thank you all for watching. I'll be back with another video tomorrow. I'm going to be pretty busy tomorrow though, so I'll have to see. But with that, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great Friday. Thank you.